Hello, this is Dr. Daulton Jr., and in today's video, I want to talk a little bit about the symptoms that can be caused by spinal disc conditions. And what's interesting about these problems is that whether you have a bulging disc, a herniated disc, a ruptured disc, or even degenerative disc disease, the symptoms are going to be pretty much the same, and I'll be explaining why that is in a second. But for that reason, before I even get into these symptoms, I want to make sure that I stress to you that it's really important that you don't decide that you have this problem based on what you're reading on the internet or what you're seeing in this video. Because these symptoms can be caused by a number of different health conditions. It's so important that if you are experiencing any of these symptoms that you actually go to a doctor who specializes in back conditions and have it properly evaluated so that they can tell you exactly what's causing it. What I see in a lot of cases, and the reason why I'm saying this to you, is that sometimes people will decide that they have this condition just based on their symptoms, and they try to treat it based on what they read online or wherever they're getting their information from. And the problem is, if you're treating the wrong problem, it isn't going to heal properly, and it might not respond to whatever it is that you're doing. So I can't stress enough that it's really important for you to see your doctor if you're experiencing any of these symptoms to make sure that you're treating the right problem rather than just going based on what you're hearing online or somewhere else. So, alright, so let's talk a little bit first about how these conditions work, because the symptoms won't make sense unless I explain this to you. So the first thing I want to do is I want to take you over here to the screen and I want to show you what a normal healthy disc looks like. And what we're looking at here is on the left hand side we have a picture of the spine, and we're looking at it from the side view. So what you can see is you've got the bones here and they're stacked on top of each other, and then in between every set of bones is a disc. And the disc is basically a cushion that absorbs shock, but it also separates the bones so that the bones don't rub together whenever you move. Now if you take this disc and you turn it upside down and you look at it from the top down, this is what it's going to look like here. Each disc is made of a strong outer covering and then a softer jelly-like center. And if you look further at the anatomy here, what you'll see is that directly behind the disc you have the spinal cord, which actually attaches to your brain and travels down and lives inside of your spine. And then off of the spinal cord come the spinal nerves. Now these nerves are really important because what they do is they travel out to the different parts of the body and they tell your body what to do. Your nervous system, which consists of your brain, your spinal cord, and your nerves, control everything within the body, without exception. Nothing happens inside of you unless the nervous system tells it to do so first. So the real significance with these types of problems is if you look at the image here and just focus on the right side, if you have a disc that is injured and it starts to bulge, what it's going to do is it's going to start to compress the nerve that lives right behind it. And this is why the symptoms with these problems can be so massive. I mean, so many different things can develop because of these problems. And let me show you a couple of examples here. If I go to this screen here and you look at this person's spine, what you're going to see is that as I move my cursor over different areas of the spine, you're going to see the yellow. And what the yellow does is it tells us where these nerves go to. So for example, let's start at the top of the neck. If I have a problem in my neck developing, the symptoms aren't just going to be neck pain, because whatever those nerves control are also going to be affected. So for example, as you can see here, you might develop headaches if you have a neck problem. You might actually develop problems with your vision or your hearing. Some people will describe that they have a hard time swallowing when they have problems in the neck because that's what those nerves control. You may even see problems develop with your thyroid gland, or in this area up in here, this will also affect things like the heart or the lungs, the vital organs of the body. So all of these things can be affected with the problem in the neck. However, if you have a problem in the lower part of the neck, what you're also going to see, and this is actually really common with spinal disc problems, is the pain may radiate out into the arms. So you may have pain that goes out into your arms, or you may feel weakness or numbness, or any type of those symptoms can develop also. You may also notice that the muscles in the arms start to atrophy, which means that they start to become smaller, and that's because those nerves control the muscles as well in that area. So these are the types of symptoms that you can develop in the neck. If you have a problem in the middle back, usually what these nerves are going to affect is the arms again, but also you may start to feel radiating pain or pain that travels around the rib cage, and that can happen anywhere in the thoracic spine, as you can see. These nerves also control the organs within the rib area. So, for example, your heart, your lungs, these types of things may be affected as well. As we move further down into the lower back, what you're going to see is that all of the abdomen is controlled by the lower back area and the lower thoracic area. So for example, you may start to notice that you're having a lot of constipation or a lot of diarrhea. Some people will notice that they have a hard time controlling when they go to the bathroom, so they may not be able to hold their bladder, or these types of symptoms. In addition to that, as you can see, the nerves in the lower back also control the legs. So you may get what we call sciatica, which is a shooting pain that goes down the back of the leg. And that's because these nerves come together and they form the sciatic nerve, and that's where that nerve goes to. You may also start to notice some weakness in the legs where you have a hard time walking. You may have some numbness. People will describe numbness in the toes or in the feet sometimes with these problems. You may get a tingly sensation in the lower body. So all of these things can be affected by a disc problem in the lower back. But as I said, remember that these symptoms can be caused by anything happening in the spine. If we go back to our image here of the normal spine, what you'll see is that the vertebrae, they basically form a ring and they surround your spinal cord. And if you're looking at it from the top down again, you'll notice that not only do we have the disc here and the spinal cord and the nerves, but we also have bone that surrounds the back of the spinal cord. Sometimes people can develop arthritis in the back where the bony areas back here will start to get thicker, and that can also compress the nerves or the spinal cord. So as you can see, there's a number of different problems that can develop, and you just want to make sure that you see your doctor to make sure 100% that you're treating the correct problem before you decide to do anything about this if you notice that you have any of these symptoms. Now, if you do know for sure that you have a disc problem and you want to find out what you need to do in order to treat it, what you can do is you can come over here to my website, which is healyourbulgingdisc.com, and I'll make sure that I have a link to this in the description right below the video that you're watching here on YouTube or on Vimeo or wherever you're seeing it at. And basically, you can scroll through here, but as you come down further, what you're going to see is that I have the different conditions that I talk about in detail listed here, and all you have to do is click on the one that you want. So let me say I'm going to go to herniated disc. And what you're going to do is you're going to click on that, and it's going to take a second here, but it's going to take you to the page. Let me pause this while it's going here. My internet's been moving a little bit slow. Okay, so when you click on the topic that you want to learn about, it'll take you to a page that gives you general information about the problem that you're looking into. So I'll have some images for you here and a lot of detailed information. But if you continue scrolling down the page, you'll see that I have a table of contents. And in this area, it breaks down all of the different topics that you can learn about. So it talks about what the problems are, what causes the pain with these problems, the symptoms, as you can see here, what causes the problems to begin with, all of the treatment options available to you. And in that section, I talk about different medications, natural alternatives that you may want to consider, exercises, and even I talk about surgery and the statistics for that. So you can come to this website and you can scroll through and find out any information that you're looking for based on the problem that you think you have or that you know you have. So, alright, well, thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I hope you found the information helpful, and I hope you have a great day.